Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review. And today we're going to be doing my comic load for the week, as well as news, updates, questions, answers, everything and anything that falls in between. This is actually a big week. We have a lot of Rebirth, we have some DC Hanna-Barbera, we have some Dynamite, although I'm going to just put that aside. We have some Marvel, so we have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, with Rusty. A little Mad TV in there. But, so let's get things started, and we're going to start where we always start, with just a little bit of Batman in our life, with Batman issue number 2. And I picked up both covers. I don't know if issue number 1 had 2 easy available covers. I know they were special, like Midtown Comics cover or San Diego Comic-Con exclusive covers. Yeah, I don't have the money to drop on that stuff. But we're not talking about variant covers here. We're talking about issue number 2. I particularly like this one better, although it's nice to see Grundy. And I guess with Rebirth, we're bringing new stuff or old stuff back into the fold. And Solomon Grundy is no longer just exclusive to Earth 2. Good old-fashioned Solomon Grundy, with the rhyme and everything, is on Earth Prime also, or Earth Zero. And basically, Gotham and Gotham Girl, the 2 new superheroes of the DC Universe in the city of Gotham, decide to take on Grundy. And to no avail, they do a terrible job at it. And then Batman has to jump in and basically do his thing and stop Grundy. This is all just a setup because the rest of the issue is Batman kind of going throughout the day and determining whether or not he should bring Gotham and bring Gotham Girl into the fold. You're going to have to excuse me. My cat is right behind the camera trying to move everything around. But basically he's trying to figure out if he should bring those 2 into the fold. He has them meet Commissioner Gordon. He does some training with them, all that fun jazz. And we also get to see some setup for the next story arc really early, the Monster Men story arc, as well as kind of the villain right now, the villain that's popping up, and I'm not going to reveal who it is, but it's one of my favorite Batman villains, someone that was in the Golden Age, someone that was in the animated series, that was in the video games, that was in the Gotham TV show, a character that I think is very underappreciated, but still pretty awesome. So that's the gist of the story. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. David Finch's art is really good here, and I think Finch is, for the most part, pound for pound, a really good artist. The only thing that he does that I think a lot of people like Ed Benz and even Jim Lee fall into is that a lot of their females have kind of the same face. I think Benz does it a lot. Finch does it a lot. Jim Lee kind of, but not so much. But it's kind of ignored right here because he does such a good job with the details of the art and just certain things. Like there's a part where Bruce is dancing with this girl and he kind of dips her and he says, "Hey, I'm going to have to go." And just the way that the silhouette of her face is and how her eyebrows are kind of like confused. And it was really nice art. So the art really popped. And I have to go on record. I think David Finch definitely does the best version of this Batman costume, makes it stand out and pop really well, and there's some pretty good action here, particularly with the Grundy stuff. I liked kind of the miscellaneous things going on in here. I liked how Alfred was kind of being sarcastic and bickery with Batman, which was pretty cool. I liked Commissioner Gordon being Commissioner Gordon and kind of, sassing out Gotham and Gotham Girl and saying, hey, he disappears, he does that all the time. And I liked the cliffhanger at the end. Bad. I still don't know what's going on with this story. I kind of get an idea that we're setting up stuff with the Bat at the end and whether or not Gotham Girl and Gotham should be trusted. But at the same time, I really don't know what the main plot is because I know we're getting set up for the Monster Men story, but what's going on in this main plot? Putting that aside, this is still an enjoyable issue, and I ate it up like candy. I hope David Finch stays on the title, at least, because they're doing the rotating artists. I don't think they're doing rotated writers, but neither here nor there. I really enjoy him on the title, and it fits very well. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Batman issue number 2, very fun. Where's a safe place to put the comics? I'll just put them down here. Moving on, Superman issue number 2. Well, this continues the Super Son arc. Basically, Clark is taking his son, and they're flying around, and he's teaching what hero. Kind of. It's actually more of him kind of teaching him how to manage his powers and how to do the right thing, but not screw up while doing it. There's a lot of questions that are thrown around, like, why were you talking to the Justice League? Or, well, Batman and Superman. What's going on? Like, should I be Superboy? Should I not? Without going into too much, that's the basic gist of the story. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I think there's some good father-son moments in this. While I do wish that New 52 Superman and pre-New 52 Superman merged into one, there's some really good father-son moments in this. I particularly like the dialogue that's going on with Superman. There is a few sections that he does feel un-Superman-like. He gets kind of snappy at some people, but John is adorable in this, and there is a twist at the end with the return of a Superman. I don't want to say villain, but adversary, antagonist. I don't know. It's always up in the air with this character. Bad. I'm just not feeling the story. I don't know what the story is because it's just him and his son flying around and learning what it means to be, Superboy and stuff like that. But again, it goes back to the thing that I was saying before. If I'm going to read Superman, I want to read Superman. If I want to read John, I'll read Super Sons, which I'm going to read. Yes, I understand telling different stories and telling stories with his son, which is good. I'm not harping on that. I just want a little bit more focus on Superman and less on John, because it feels more like John's book than it does feel about Clark. With that said, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Still a good title, still enjoyable. Not quite there. Although 3.5 out of 5 is still a good ranking. So, Aquaman, issue number 2. So this is basically Aquaman versus Black Manta. If you want to see these two duke it out, you're going to see it here. This is basically the gist of the whole entire... I'm saying gist a lot. It's the gist of the whole entire issue. It is those two duking out. There is resolution. The fight does end here, but we get to see a bigger threat at work. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The art, I felt as though, was handled better in this issue. I don't know if it's a different artist in issue number 1. I don't think so. I think it's the same artist, but there's just something about how the art was done in this that I think is superior to the first issue. The fight between Manta and Aquaman is badass, kick-ass, whatever ass you want to put in there. Fat ass, small ass, tight ass, Mr. Ass. But it is a great fight between the two of them. And it kind of resolves in kind of an interesting way. In addition to that, it's nice to know that there's something more behind all this. And at first I was kind of pissed that Aquaman and Black Manta have their showdown and kind of just ends the second issue. But that's not the purpose of this. Black Manta isn't the main villain in this. There's something else at work. Bad, none at all. I really thoroughly enjoyed this issue. I think it was one of the stronger Rebirth issues of this week. Some people may disagree with me, but I think it did a good job at reestablishing Aquaman and Black Manta's feud for newer readers and reminding the older readers what happened. And just some subtle flashbacks does a good job at that. A great fight that just shows how badass Aquaman is. And just on a whole, good pacing and good writing. 5 out of 5. Let's talk about a fun buddy cop comic. Let's talk about Green Lanterns issue number 2. This focuses a little bit more on Jessica Cruz than it does on Baz. With the Rebirth issue, it was more Baz. This first issue was kind of both of them. This issue is a little bit more Jessica. And it kind of explains some interesting things. Like, for example, she can't actually create a construct yet. She can fly, she can have life support, but she can't create a construct. In addition to that, we see a little bit more of what the Red Dawn is and the Red Lantern's motives, and a bit more of Jessica's backstory and her relationship with her sister. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Jessica and Simon Baz work so well together. They have a fun little bickering relationship, really enjoyable. I really do like. There's one scene when Simon's driving a construct car, which is pretty cool, and they kind of argue with each other, and she literally blows her stuff out of it. It's just fun stuff. So I do enjoy the dynamic between them. Good character building on that end. Of course, it's going to start off with them disliking each other and then grudgingly respecting each other. I'm sure they're going to eventually like each other. They're going to have to be because they're going to be on this title for quite a while, I would think, indefinitely. But yeah, the relationship between the two is really good. The art is good, although I have to say the one complaint I had is at times I didn't know who Jessica Cruz was and who her sister was. It was a little confusing. Pacing of this was pretty good, and we got a little bit of the Red Lanterns in there. Bad, again, this is a solid issue. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 too. I enjoyed it. I can't say there was anything wrong with it, and I had a good time. Let's talk about what has been one of my favorite Rebirth series, which is Green Arrow issue number 2. So, last issue, Emiko with her mother, Shadow, not spelled like the regular Shadow, but spelled differently, show up, really Shadow that shows up, shoots up Oliver with a couple arrows, and Emiko kind of goes in there and it's like, oh my god, well, if everyone's shooting him, we might as well. I mean, hey, if you see your brother getting shot with arrows, like, let's just join the party. So, anyways, this issue picks up with basically them disposing of Oliver's body. Don't worry, he lives. And then him getting out and kind of trying to rebuild himself because he loses Queen's Industry, he loses his name, he loses a lot of his power, and he's kind of living in a tree. Quite literally living in a tree. And he loses his contacts. Black Canary's on the search for him, and John Diggle makes an appearance in this. But there's more to this than meets the eyes, and it's not Optimus Prime. There's something going on with Shadow. Is this the real Shadow? Is she being mind-controlled? We don't know, and there's a glimmer of hope that Emiko is just going along with this because she does something to try to help out Oliver. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. You know what's funny with Green Arrow is that, well, I'm going to just say it out here. This is probably one of the best issues of the week. I'm going to go into more detail about that later. But this does a good job at kind of merging everything that's good about Green Arrow while avoiding everything that's bad. I mean, there's so many different Green Arrows there is. There's the Silver Age campy Green Arrow with the boxing glove Arrow kind of portrayal. There's Dennis O'Neil, Neil Adams kind of social injustice, Green Arrow traveling with Green Lantern and taking on social injustice. There is the new 52 Green Arrow, which is at odds with himself and doesn't know where he belongs in the world, and trying the best he can to hang on when everything seems glim. There's the cartoon Green Arrows, which are more or less an allegory of the other ones, but there's this show Green Arrow, which is darker and grittier, and while he has allies, he's very hard on himself. And this does a very good job at bringing all those elements from each one in there. You got the social injustice fighter Green Arrow in there, but at the same time, you got that new 52, I don't know what I'm doing with myself kind of Green Arrow. He has a little bit of a goofiness to him that's in the Silver Age. And then you get kind of the elements from the TV show, but only the good elements. And when I'm talking about that, you got him being a little darker, but at the same time, you got John Diggle in there, and you got Emiko, which is kind of half Emiko, half Thea Queen, but does it well, with a little bit of Cassandra Cain mixed on top. I'm just going to sprinkle a little of that Cassandra Cain on there. But it does a good job at merging all the Green Arrows together, and all the great elements from the different things. Because, let's be honest, and I'm wearing Stephen Amell, fuck cancer TV shirt, but the Green Arrow TV show was great season 1, season 2 great, season 3 and season 4. So it hasn't been perfect, but there's a lot of great elements from the TV show, and I think they're putting some of that stuff in there. There's been a lot of great elements in the the 70s run, 80s run of Green Arrow, and it's being put in there. New 52, once Jeff Lemire got his massive cock sticking into that comic, it has some really good stuff going on there. So I think a lot of those things are being translated in here. And it's kind of funny me saying this because, and I'm going to tell you this up front, this is probably going to be my pick of the week because I think I enjoyed this book the most. I think it's a Rebirth book that I'm enjoying the most. And I love Green Arrow. He's not one of my top 10 favorite superheroes. He's definitely in the top 20, but I mean, I think they're just doing such a really phenomenal job with this comic. So definitely pick it up. And with someone who was very hesitant on Green Arrow beforehand, this is kind of where it's doing everything right. issue number 2, people. You can still pick it up. You can still get things rolling, getting the ball rolling. Justice League issue number 1, and I don't know if this is considered the Rebirth issue. Yeah, this is the Rebirth issue. I had to just double check. I think the Rebirth issues has the big R, the big Rebirth print there. Obviously, it shows everyone's face, which is kind of what the Rebirth one shot is. Long story short, well, first of all, Brian Hitch is doing the art and writing on this. I thought it was going to be my boy Tony Daniel. I don't know if they're doing the alternated thing. We'll have to see. But yeah, basically this picks up right off Darkseid War, and the Justice League has been dwindled down to 5 of the 7 core members. You have Batman, Wonder Woman, Barry Allen as the Flash, Arthur Curry as Aquaman, and Cyborg. Hal Jordan had to leave to go take on Sinestro, so he's off on leave again. Hal's always on and off. And then, obviously, Superman is dead. We got some new team members in here. We got Superman, pre-New 52 Superman Fly in there. And Hal Jordan wants Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz to join in here and be kind of the acting Green Lanterns while he's gone. And I basically the story starts off with this massive bug. Like, dude, like this thing is humongous. Like, it makes other massive monsters look crazy, stupidly small. And it kind of a throwback to their original adventures against Starro. It has its own mini bugs attached to the head and like mind control people. Justice League is doing their best they can to handle this, but it's just not working. So they decide, hey, F this, let's go inside his brain and screw things up. And while in there, Aquaman, who not only could talk to fish, and I hope people know this, I know this, but this does a very good job at showing it, Aquaman's a telepath. He can talk to about anything, for the most part. It hurts if it's not fish, though. So he's talking to this bug, and this bug is like, hey, shit's gonna get real. You think I'm bad? Wait till you see what's coming. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'll fuck you up, but what's coming will really fuck you up, kind of thing. And, you know, the whole Justice League come together, all 8 members, takes this thing down. They basically say, F you, we're standing here, Justice League of America, or just plain Justice League, and we're defending the Earth. Bring it. Just literally did 1999 to 2003 Rock with just going, just bring it. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I think Brian Hitch's art on this has been better than his JLA run. I don't know what it is, but I just think it looks better. Yeah. It's tough to get an artist who is also a writer and do both. I think the only other person that really does it successfully, in my opinion, is George Perez. His run on Wonder Woman was so bomb, it's not even funny. But this, Brian Hitch is doing a great job with writing and doing the art. Not to say he wasn't beforehand on JLA, but there's just something about this issue that does a good job at it. And it's a good introductory issue for everyone. Other than the fact of not knowing that this is pre-New 52 Superman, if you're walking into this, you know all the players, you know where all the chess pieces are, and it's just like, hey, we're coming together, and we're going to go save the world. That's the basic gist of it. Downside, I don't know if this is downside, but the lineup seems, it's not the perfect lineup I want. Putting aside that this is pre-New 52 Superman, I think that the Justice League at this point should be the core 7, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Flash, Barry Allen, Aquaman, Cyborg. In addition to that, have some supplementary characters like Shazam. Where's my boy Batson? I don't get it, but Shazam should be on there, and maybe 2 other characters for the disrespect. Maybe Green Arrow, or maybe Zatanna, or maybe Firestorm, or Black Canary. You could throw a bunch of people on there. Definitely Shazam, but I think that the Justice League should definitely be a little bit bigger. In saying that, it's not saying this lineup is bad. I don't mind Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz being on there. I would have preferred Hal, but in saying that, this is it's still a good lineup. On a whole, this is an enjoyable issue. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Everything hits the mark pretty well. I just wish the lineup was different. But to be honest, that's more my personal problem than anything. The comic still gets it done. It would have been nicer if, and staying in the lineup, it would have been nicer if it was a little thicker. Moving on, Hanna-Barbera's Flintstones. So DC Comics has been doing a lot of these Hanna-Barbera stuff. Been doing that. Been doing Scooby Apocalypse. Been doing Scooby Apocalypse isn't Hanna-Barbera, right? No, but that Future Quest, and it's just kind of been doing all this old stuff. And similar to Scooby Apocalypse, we're taking a different take on this. The characters are a little bit more jacked, a little bit more. I don't want to say realistic, but they have a different art tone to them. This first issue, is Fred Flintstone gets called in by his boss, and they're like, "Yo, we got these Neanderthals right here. I want you to take them out. I want you to show them a good time so that they can work for like slave labor, cheap prices." And Fred is like, "Yabba dabba doo," and he does it. And that's the basic, overall the story is him taking these people out, the Neanderthals learning what it's like to be in bedrock. It's kind of a darker tone to it in a couple of things. Like, I guess there was a bedrock war, and Barney and Fred was part of it, and I guess they're the first civilization out of this gruesome mess that was, the crazy caveman world that was beforehand. Got it falling apart here. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Real quickly, I've watched the Flintstones before. When I was growing up, I wasn't a huge fan of them, but I read it, and I watched it, and I enjoyed it. I think this does a better job at doing a new take on the Flintstones than Scooby Apocalypse did. Not saying Scooby Apocalypse does bad tape; it's really fun, but I think this does a very good job because it's a tone that's different, but the characters and the atmosphere is still the same. I thought it was paced well. I thought the art, although everyone looks jacked and over the top, it's fun, and the story was good. The only thing I can say is I think it was a little bit too long of an issue. But out of the stuff that has come out, this has been really good. 4 out of 5. If you like the Flintstones, pick it up. Just see if you like this and continue with it. I'm going to at least get issue 2. Next is Future Quest, another Hanna-Barbera. So Future Quest is taking a lot, and I don't think I reviewed issue number 1, but it's taking a lot of characters from the Hanna-Barbera universe, kind of smashing them together and being like, "Yo, this is our Justice League." But this is basically show how Space Ghost teams up, or at least shows up, with Johnny Quest and Birdman, and all of them working together, and it's kind of laying the foundations of what will be the overarching story. I'm not going to lie, I never really cared about these characters beforehand. I've watched maybe 3 episodes of Johnny Quest. I barely know who Birdman is. I kind of know who Space Ghost is. Everyone else is like, I'm waiting for the Venture Brothers to show up. But despite the fact of me not knowing these characters that well, I don't know anyone on this cover. This comic has a very good... it does a very good job at drawing you in. It kind of brings you in and says, "Hey, have fun, enjoy it." It's campy, it's very pulpy, which I like pulp stuff. It does a very good job at that. But yeah, I think this is the best of the the Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones. I think this one is probably the best, without a doubt. Pick it up. I'm willing to throw a 5 at it. What's not getting a 5 is Teen Titans Annual. So basically it's the Teen Titans versus Sister Blood, and I guess, she has Beast Boy's blood, and she's creating monsters with it, and yeah. I wasn't feeling this Annual. I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's just not fun. I guess it has that tone and feel of everything that was kind of not great with Teen Titans and New 52. So yeah, 2 out of 5. Batman Beyond issue number 14. So basically, Terry is running with Matt, and they're talking about... Not Terry. Wow, that was a Freudian slip if I've ever had one. Dick is running with Terry. Again, another Freudian slip. I really have Terry on mind. There's a good reason for that. Matt's basically telling Dick about how he found out that Terry was Batman and how it kind of led to the whole Brother Eye thing. And it was kind of a nice little flashback story. I forget what's really going on in the overarching story. You know, like, hey, let's get to the Batcave. Let's focus on some other characters. But the fun was just seeing Terry and seeing him as Batman, and nothing against Tim, but really the Batman Beyond comics should be Batman Beyond from the cartoon show. Not saying Terry, but the whole entire premise. Like I want it to be an extension of the TV show, which is what the comic was beforehand, before Future's End. I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5. Terry was great in this. I enjoyed the story. The art was pretty good. I just don't care about the comic as much anymore because I'm not as interested in the overarching story. I'm waiting for the rebirth to happen because maybe Terry will come back, fix this whole Future End thing, and they kind of go back to the way it should be. Injustice, Year 5. Gods Among Us, Year 5, issue number 13. So basically, Batman is dealing with Damian after the death of Alfred. Superman shows up. They kind of bitch each other out, and a fight ensues. And in it, Batman kind of shows Damian, like, do you want me to kill? Do you want me to, like, do you really want to see that dark side? Go ahead. Let me show you. I will, if that's what you want, kind of thing. He's kind of teaching a lesson to Damian, despite the fact that they're on opposite sides. They're still father and son. The fight in this was good. The tension in this was good. Injustice has been a very consistently good comic. The bad, I can't really say this much bad. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I think you should still get it and pick it up if you're an Injustice fan. If you want something quick to read to kind of get your whistle wet for the Injustice 2, pick up the previous issue and then pick up this. 2 good issues that can go together as standalones. But yeah, I'm still liking this book. And if you enjoy the Injustice game, you might want to behoove yourself to go and pick up some of the trades because Injustice is a consistently good book, consistently good, and it has been around for 5 years. So, Darth Vader issue number 22. I guess this is getting canceled soon. It's kind of good, you get a good feeling why. I mean, it's still a fun ride here. He takes on Cyborg Lady with the droids, but you can kind of feel the momentum of Darth Vader kind of slowed down. I thought the fight was good. I thought it showed how badass Darth Vader was. I don't feel as though the story was as impressive or interesting, so I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. Grayson Annual. So this is basically a collection story of Grayson teaming up with Harley Quinn, Constantine, Simon Baz, and Azrael, and then what comes from all these stories. Each story was actually fun in their own way. I don't know if the art was different each and it felt different, but this was kind of a rip-roaring fun adventure. It's you don't know where it takes place in the Grayson comics, but it doesn't really much matter. I particularly like the Azrael story, but that's probably because I want more Azrael in my life. The New 52 Azrael is pretty badass. And on a whole, I think other than the fact that these characters are absolutely freaking random, like I can kind of understand Harley Quinn and Azrael because they kind of have connections to Dick, but like Constantine, Simon Baz, interesting choices, but to say the least, this will also get a 4 out of 5. Worth getting if you want just fun Dick Grayson stuff, not necessary to the overall arc. So, Deathstroke, who is Blancan, I hope I said that right. Basically, Deathstroke goes to a Middle Eastern country. I forget which one it was. I should probably remember, but he basically needs to take out. He's hired by one mercenary to take out another. Not mercenary. He's hired by one political figure to take out another political figure. Well, this other assassin is hired by the other political figure to take out political figure that hired Deathstroke. So Deathstroke's boss hired him to kill someone, and the person that he's hired to kill hired an assassin to kill Deathstroke's boss, if that makes sense. While this is going on, a lot of dialogue is going back and forth with this kid that he's chilling with, and then obviously chaos ensues. I think out of the annuals, this is the one I enjoyed the most, and it's the one I probably recommend the most. I enjoyed the dialogue between the kid and Deathstroke. I thought the action was pretty good, and I thought the inner dialogue, while a little excessive, was also pretty good too. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5, as well as Grayson, but I probably recommend this over Grayson because it's just a better story overall. And it's fun. It's a good side Deathstroke story. Captain America Steve Rogers, issue number 2. All Hail Hydra. So yeah, basically this is giving us the reason of what happened to Captain America. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about it a bit. Don't pick it up if you want to know what happens, but spoiler alert. Basic gist of it, and you guys have to forgive me because I'm not a Marvel fan, so I'm going to kind of just pull shit out of my ass. Captain America got, at one point, destroyed the Cosmic Cube that Red Skull loves so much. He, licks it all the time. Destroyed the Cosmic Cube, which somehow turned into a little girl, who, during one of the crossovers, like the Pleasant Hill crossover, or Happy Heart, I don't know, during one of the recent crossovers, rejuvenated Captain America, but at the same time, rewrote his memories to make him think he was a Hydra agent. That's it. Everyone was worried about how this was going to turn out. Is Captain America a Nazi now? Is Captain America part of Hydra? You guys, we're comic book fans. We all know that they want to do something that drastic. In saying that, this actually was a really fun issue. It came from the perspective of Red Skull, and that's going to be the big mark of the good. Got a lot of Red Skull in this, and it kind of, for someone that's new to Marvel or someone that doesn't read as much, I know Red Skull, I know the basic gist of him, but it helped me kind of understand him a little bit more because, again, I don't read Marvel that much. And I thought it was a well-placed, paced story, good dialogue, the art was good. The only complaint I have with this, and the only reason why I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, is because there's very little to none Captain America. Good Red Skull story, but I want to see more Cap. I think more Cap would have helped out a lot. We're getting close to the end. Batman 666 meets Steed in Mrs. Peel. So I don't know anything about Steed and Mrs. Peel. I assume it was a TV show at some point in the 60s or 70s. It's going to be your basic Batman meets something 66, where, let's join up. Let's take up villains that are joining up against each other. Kind of that stuff. Actually, this was pretty fun. I enjoyed it more than The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I think the art is interesting in this. I think it's better paced than the Man from U.N.C.L.E. one, but not quite as good as Batman meets the Green Hornet. But if you love Batman 66, pick it up. If you're not a fan of 66, don't pick it up. But fun little side story. And finishing it off is Batman The Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. So Superman's back and he's pissed, and Batman brings out the good old-fashioned Dark Knight Returns armor. I don't know if that was because of the movie or anything, but basically Batman finds a weapon to use against the Kryptonians, and him and Superman team up to take on the Kryptonians. Basic gist. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I enjoyed the art. I enjoyed Superman kind of, busting out. I enjoyed more of the characters in there, Aquaman and Flash, showing up. I enjoyed the throwback with how the cockpit was made for the Batmobile and Batman's armor and everything. And it's pretty smart how he's taking on the Kryptonians. Bad, I just feel like this story isn't as strong as... I didn't care for Dark Knight 2. Dark Knight 1 was fantastic. Dark Knight 2, I didn't care for. But I feel as though its story had more substance than this story. This story is very basic. And saying that is still enjoyable. I guess basic is good, but just from what it came from, we had more complex stories beforehand. I don't know if I could call that a bad. Would you? Either way, I'm still thoroughly enjoying this. Pick it up. It's Dark Knight 3. And it's basically Brian Azzarello. Not as much Frank Miller, but that's the comics for the week. Throwing everything down there. I think I made it pretty clear that my pick of the week is still Green Arrow. Really enjoyed this comic. Rebirth has some pretty good issues this week. Solid through and through. And with that said, we're going to go into some questions and answers. Not many updates or newses to go on with. Other than, let's see, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go. Who else is playing it? Everyone? Yeah. Dude, it is addictive. Like, it's nowhere as good as the regular Pokemon games, but dude, like, seriously. There's nothing like taking a shit and realizing there's a Venonat over there, and you're like, oh, fuck, I gotta piss, but I'm gonna get you, Venonat. I won't open the app, but I've got some good, my best Pokemon right now. I have Charmander. I can't find where Charmanders are, so I can't really evolve them. But my boy Raticate and my boy Pidgeotto are my strongest. I got basically normal Route 1 stuff. You got Rattata, Spearows, Caterpies, Metapods, Weedles. I have Poliwag. I have a Dratini. Where I work has a lot of Dragon Pokemon. You know, you got Drowsy, so I'm still working on getting some more rarer stuff. But yeah, on a whole, fun app to have. Random, I'm going to kind of keep you guys updated on this. I have been, so obviously it's pretty obvious I've gained weight over the years. I've gained muscle, but I gained weight. So, like, you know, I have a lot more muscle. I feel as though my upper body is pretty big. You know, if you look at, like, well, you can't really see it, but my calf muscles are big. But you see this. I got a bit of a belly. When I started doing reviews, I was in really good shape. 6-pack, really skinny. I think I was a good 200 pounds, give or take. I've been trying the best I can to get into shape, but trying different ways at it. And at my worst, I was like 250-something. And recently, I've been turning things around a lot. But I want to keep the momentum going. And one of the things that I've been doing is that, or at least something I started, is that I'm going to weigh myself each day so that I know where I stand. What I want to do is so that, kind of accountability. I'm going to tell you guys what my weight is. And, a lot of people think that's very personal. I understand that I have to get back into shape for the most part. And I think this is going to be a way of, brutally, honestly, me telling you guys where I stand and hopefully having that be that accountability that I continue doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to go to the gym at least 4 times a week, and I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm eating like yogurt and berries in the morning. I'm just keeping some cherries with me too. I'm on that kind of kick. But I'm really doing fruit and yogurt in the morning. Afternoon, I'm hitting it up with some peanut butter, some veggies, and then at night, I'm going to hit up like a meat. I try to do chicken throughout the day too. Right now, I'm 247.6 pounds. So my goal is to eventually, I think my target weight I want to be at is like a 215. I want to still continue to get muscle, but I want to get skinny. And I think the big problem is this. Like, if you look at me, I'm not, I don't want to say fat, but this, you see, I can grab that love handles. I want to get this back in order. So, not Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell can stay there. Like, he's in shape. Like, this right here, Stephen Amell, is fine. But the gut region is where my biggest problem is. Everything else is fine. My pecs are good. My shoulders, my arms, my legs, my ass. But I want to get that in line, and I wouldn't mind, like, thinning out my face. So, right now I'm at 247.6. Hopefully I can drop that. Hopefully I can lower that a bit. Next time that we talk next week, I can give you a lower rate. Who knows? This is going to be an ongoing thing, but, I just wanted to give you guys this because it's kind of, to quote Cersei Lannister, sometimes confession is good under the right circumstances. And this is the right circumstance. Me telling you guys, I'm bearing it all and letting you know that this is a weakness for me and I want to make it better. I don't know what hit me with this weakness. I think part of it was work. I work a lot of hours, and then, I have a lot of things I have to take care of, responsibilities at home. I think it's just bad eating habits. I have a different philosophy when it comes down to life. Oh, Kitty, you are just coming on over and tons of pussy right here, people. On my channel, Andrew Cutter 2, comics and pussy. And the pussy even looks like a comic book character. Right? Splitsy or Catstroke the Purinator. But yeah, so that's that. Game of Thrones. I made a reference. Let's talk about that. On point, probably one of the best episodes of the series. My God. First of all, we got confirmed Jon's parents. I think everyone knew it was going to be Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark. But King of the North. King of the North. King of the North. Boy, I can just see it now. Jon's going to go, and he's going to be King of the North, and then your girl here is going to be Khaleesi. Daenerys is going to be like, yo, King of the North. And they're going to be like, well, technically we're a half brother and sister. And she's going to be like, yo, but if you think about it, Targaryens do that thing, with each other's siblings. But put that aside, I think what's going to happen is Jon and Daenerys are going to fall in love. Jon's going to have to kill Daenerys, and that's going to make him the prince that was promised, to have Lightbringer and all that kind of fun jazz. Cersei, on point with her maneuvers. Probably doesn't realize that she's going to fuck herself at the end. And I think Jaime's going to kill her to finish that prophecy. But boy, blowing up the septon. Confess! Just pouring the wine on there. My girl Cersei. She is the Mad Queen. Good for her. And Daenerys getting her boats and finally getting those Targaryens going. Good for her. So it was just a fucking awesome episode. And, I need more. Game of Thrones is such a great show. So Game of Thrones. Oh, and recently I have beat Bravely Default Endlayer, or Bravely Second Endlayer. Get it. It's a great game. It improves on everything of the first game. The only thing it does bad is it's more of the same. And I mean, it's the same cities you go to, the same towns you go to, different story, different characters, kind of, some different characters, 2 new ones. But, it improves on everything else. On point, Bravely Second. Really enjoyed the game. And it's going to be a 40-plus hour game. I plugged a lot of hours into that. And I can't do that much anymore, but Bravely I would do. Such an on-point game. Watch some reviews online. You'll see why. With that said, let's get into the comments, the questions and answers. Every single week you guys can ask me a question, and I will answer it for you. And then I read some of the comments too. So I will be bringing the Andrew Cutter Battle Royale. Not this week because, to be honest, I'm not prepared for it. So, yeah. But next week I will officially bring it back. Just gotta remember. So, with that said, let's take a look. Xvalis, good to have you back, man. You're a big part of why I started my own channel. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that. It's great to be back. All Batman 22, so awesome you're back. Your favorite YouTuber for years. The king has returned to the throne. Here's my question. Thank you, by the way. That's really nice of you. 1, what are your overall thoughts on Tamashi's New 52 Batman and Robin? And 2, how would you rank the Justice League from favorite to least favorite characters? So, Tamashi's run on Batman and Robin was really good. And I think it hits me in a different place than it may hit some fans. Because I am a father. So I understand a lot of stuff he talks about and a lot of the things that go through. But I think it was just pound for pound a really solid run. And the story arcs are really solid. Some of the best in the New 52 came from that. And I think it's some of the best we had at Damian in a long time, too. I know, Splitsy. I know. As for my favorite Justice League characters, ranking them from... well, I mean, I say it always, core 7. Best are Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan, Barry Allen, Cyborg, Aquaman. Those are kind of the best. Secondary ones are Martian Manhunter, Jon Stewart, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Firestorm, Zatanna, Shazam. Third tier people, I liked Moto Raven back in the Dizzle. If you don't know who that is, you gotta read Moto Raven. He's pretty. He was a badass shaman kind of character. He's really low tier, but him, Booster Gold, Blue Beetle. What other characters? I'm trying to think. Not Metalman. Trying to think of the third tiers, but I can't think of them as well. Because the second and the first tiers are really the solid Justice League stuff. I guess Black Lightning would be good on there again. Oh, shit. You know what? On the second tiers, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, those two definitely need to be on there, without a doubt. Rex Manson, the Elemental Man, Metamorpho, throw that boy on there. Adam definitely should be on there. So I'm not going to give you a least favorite, but those are some of the major ones that should be on there. Kiro Wack, good to have you back. I figured after the kid was born, you would be done. Slow down things a little, but, once you get through the first 10 months, then you can start reassembling your life. But thank you. Mr. Red Hood, hey Andrew, Gabriel Romero here, and I just was wondering, what do you think of the new Injustice 2 video game? Do you think that it will bring up an interesting backstory for the characters, or do you think it will be MKX ripoff? Thanks for reading, gracias. I think it's going to be a good story because Injustice was a solid story. This is going to be a good continuation of it. So I have complete faith in the story. As for the gameplay, I think elements from MKX will show up in this, but not as heavily as stuff from Injustice showed up in MKX. Like the environmental controlling your environment and stuff. That was straight Injustice, and that went into MKX. But I think MKX won't influence it as much as we may think. I think they're trying to keep the two brands separate. MKX is going to be its own creature, or the Mortal Kombat series is going to be its own creature. I think Injustice is going to be its own creature. I am interested in the characters that are going to be in there. We only have Batman, Flash, Aquaman, Supergirl, Grodd, Atrocitus, Superman, that we know for a fact. Everyone's saying Black Manta, but I think he's just part of the brutality. But I really want to see other characters. I want to see Hal. I want to see Wonder Woman. I wouldn't mind seeing some more obscure characters. I know Black Canary's in it because Kate Cassidy has done things for the video game. So I'm sure there's going to be a alternate outfit for the Arrow Black Canary. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what characters are brought in there. Green Arrow Hunter. Wow, you lucked out getting that name. There's no 1, 2, or 7 behind it. It's just straight up Green Arrow Hunter. Andrew, a couple questions for you. 1, how would you write Green Arrow Earth 1 book? 2, what are the lesser known Superman stories that you recommend? 3, Battle Royale, Yoda versus Ganthet. I'll take that into consideration. How would I write a Green Arrow Earth 1 book? I think I would do a very bare basic Oliver Queen. I would kind of take a step away from the swashbuckling trick arrows, and I would just literally have half the book be flashbacks on the island, and having the stuff from the island transition over to the main arc of him being back. But him being back, I wouldn't even have him be like announced that Oliver Queen's alive. I would just have him be straight up Green Arrow, fucking on the rooftops, getting by with arrows, and just doing the best he can. Very gritty, very season 1 Arrow kind of. Not high technology, more or less just like, him opening the box and just using what he's got. By the way, Arrow needs to be bringing back that box. That box was awesome. But I would do that, and I think I would make the main villain be an interesting take on Count Vertigo. I've always been a Count Vertigo fan, but do an interesting take. Go back to more of the prim and proper royalty-esque of him, and maybe he's coming to Green Arrow City to take it over, and Green Arrow has to take him out, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's kind of the tone I would have. Very, very gritty, very, very low tech, and just high. High, what is it called? Street level kind of stuff. What lesser known Superman tales do I recommend? Oh geez, off the top of my head, it's pretty tough. I do like Superman Exile. That was pretty good, and Superman Eradication is also pretty nice. Superman Powers was pretty good. That was fun. Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm going to give you those 3. So, check them out. Start with Superman Exile. That's a pretty good story. I could go over there and just look at them if you want and give you a bunch of lesser-known ones. If that's what you would like. If that is, just let me know and I'll do it next video. I don't know if people want me to walk over there and come back. But let me know. Bojack. Oh, shit, Bojack. Bojack235 comments, "Hey Andrew, nice to have you back. I've got 2 questions for you. 1, what is your favorite DC animated film? And 2, what DC storyline would you like to see them do in the future? Thanks." Excellent questions. My favorite DC animated film is still Justice League New Frontier. By God, listen, DC New Frontier, Darwin Cook fucking nailed that comic. It's everything that it should have been, kind of Silver Age-esque with the look and the tone and the feel. And I think the movie did such a fantastic job of just putting that together. A close second would be Justice League War. I thought that was pretty fun. But yeah, no, definitely Justice League New Frontier. Really good. As for what I would like them to make into a movie, Death of the Family would be pretty fun. I wouldn't mind some kind of... Well, they kind of did do that, so I can't really say that. I would like to see a Flash story that is reminiscent to the first story arc from the New 52. The one where it has the, Multiplex cutting himself up and making copies of himself. What else? I wouldn't mind some new Teen Titans stuff. Judas Contract, your boy Deathstroke. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And let me just throw one in there just for a little seasoning. The Power of Shazam. Have a good, solid... I know they did it with Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam, but it would be nice to see a Power of Shazam one. Just straight up a New 52 Billy Batson kind of thing. Let me make sure I didn't skip one. Okay, here we go. The Kingzilla 9. Andrew, can you please do another timeline video for Batman? I'm still figuring out on how I'm going to do that. It's tough because I don't pick up trades as much anymore. But, yeah. Let's see if I can figure it out. I can't promise anything. It's tough. New 52's timeline is a lot different. It's tough. But I'll see what I can do. Diablo0034, Andrew, just wondering, what do you think do you think New 52 Superman will return? I hope so. I think one of 3 things is going to happen. Number 1 is they're going to merge New 52 Superman and regular and pre-New 52 Superman, Freudian slip, together to make one regular Superman. 2, pre-New 52 Superman, sales will start to dip and they'll bring New 52 Superman back. or 3, they're just going to whitewash the histories and make just one Superman, so that there was never any differentiation between the two. Again, I would have handled Superman and Rebirth a lot differently. You can still have your cake and eat it too, but I think DC did it kind of messy, and that's the only thing from Rebirth I don't care for. I've been very adamant about how I've said that, but that's a touchy subject for me. Especially if they say that New 52 Superman wasn't the real Superman at all, or he wasn't what you think he was. He's just like something built by Dr. Oz or Mr. Oz or Ozymandias or whatever. It's tough. Because does that mean that Lois from New 52 is not really Lois, or does that mean Hal Jordan from New 52 is not really Hal Jordan? Because there's still the Convergent copy of Parallax floating around. There's still Lois from pre-New 52 floating around. So, oh god, you open a can of worms. I'm gonna do a video about that later. I just gotta put my thoughts together. But good question, Miles Garrett. This might be a silly question, but an important one. Got any tips for living with a pregnant wife? Like a short list of what's not to do. I don't see me as a dad for a while, but it's nice to keep things in mind. Pregnant wife stuff. Are we just talking about her being pregnant? Make them feel comfortable. There's going to be it depends on when they're pregnant. If they're pregnant during the winter or pregnant during the summer, no matter what, they're going to be uncomfortable for different reasons. It's too cold, it's too hot, everything's exaggerated. You want to make sure that they're always comfortable. Sympathy is going to make sure you get away with your balls still attack. A lot of mood swings are going to happen. A lot of things are not going to make sense. You're just going to have to deal with it. Cravings is a myth, but it's still something that women like to use. Like, I guess it's considered a myth by doctors, but my wife had cravings too. She had really weird cravings. I forget what they were, but she had some odd ones. But make sure you satisfy those cravings. And I know this sounds very personal, but make sure you still do it. Okay? Still have sex while they're pregnant. It releases tension, and it's good, healthy for the relationship. Putting that all aside, just, keep them happy. That's the most important thing. But excellent question. It's not a weird one or a silly one. Surviving pregnancy is an important thing. Because you got a bigger battle afterwards. But in all honesty, whenever you do decide to become a father, it really is one of the most amazing, rewarding things in the world. It is. Mr. M9991, awesome video, Andrew, as always. And yes, you really should bring back the Battle Royale. I totally enjoy and miss watching these videos. My question for you is, what video game, past or present, that made you rage the most? Love your videos, dude. Thank you very much for all the good comments, good things that you throw my way. The thing that made me rage the most, well, I have to think about the games that I didn't complete. Well, maybe not. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes made me rage a bit. I did beat the game, but it made me rage pretty hard. I'm trying to think. There was something recent that made me rage, but I forget what it was. God damn it. But yeah, that made me rage really hard. GoldenEye 2 or Rogue Agent, whatever is the GameCube GoldenEye, that made me rage a little bit. I'm trying to think, jeez, because, not to sound cocky, but at this point in my life, I don't rage as much with video games because I'm experienced enough as a video game player. Yeah, I would say Metroid Prime probably has. Jeez, that's a good question. You got me thinking. Catching some Pokemon rage sometimes, but Pokemon never really made me. I would say that's it. Oh, you know what made me rage? You know what made me rage? 2 games, and I can't believe I haven't thought of this. Last Story, the boss on that, the final boss, and I think I figured out the game that made me rage the most. And this is funny because it's in my top 10 favorite games. Xenoblade Chronicles for the Nintendo Wii. Boy, oh boy, did that make me rage. Oh my god. Because it's just so grind heavy. And it's like some of the bosses, just that giant robot Godot, I think his name is, and the final boss, Lord Zanzu or Zanzus, just absolutely psycho crazy hard and made me rage. But excellent question. Nick Lenz. So the camera stopped, but let's go into it. Nick Lenz. First question. First, before question, the Black Knight series I was talking about ended after issue 5, and the first they explained who the Black Knight character is. Now to the questions. Okay, so got it. So is it still the Marvel Black Knight that you're talking about? Yeah. Maybe I might read it if it's only 5 issues long. But first, so a question. Did you know that this volume of Teen Titans is ending after 24 issues? Yes, I did know that because they're doing Rebirth. Second, what's your view on Raven from the Teen Titans getting an ongoing series in September? I thought is it an ongoing series? I thought it was a one-shot. Hey, anything to flesh that character out. New 52 has not been kind to Raven. Third, aside from Hush Returns, what's your least favorite Batman story? City of Crime. Dude, that story just was not good. It was rough around the edges, and it was a long read. Fourth, what are you picking up from IDW other than TMNT? What am I picking up from IDW other than TMNT? I don't think I'm picking up anything. I think that's my only IDW. Fifth, did you get a chance to meet the first Yellow Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers before she passed away? Unfortunately, I did not. It's very sad, of course, that she passed away, but no, I didn't get to meet her. And I much would have liked to. Out of the autographs and the people I met from Mighty Morphin, the only two that I haven't met are Jason David Frank and David Yost, which were the Green and White Ranger and the Blue Ranger, respectively. I'm meeting Jason David Frank at Rhode Island Comic Con. Still waiting on David Yost, but it would have been nice to meet her and to talk to her and kind of, to meet them all because they were all so important, especially her. I think she's still my favorite Yellow Ranger. With Aisha / Karen Ashley being second, but unfortunately no. This shows you when people leave, you lose the chance to meet them and to get the experience being around them. Soul Drum, so happy that you're doing these videos again. Thank you, I'm happy to be doing them again. Pepper Ruti, I hope I said that correct. Have you ever watched the YouTube channel of Comic Book Cast? If so, what do you think of them? No, I haven't, but I will take a look into them and see if you recommend them. Mr. Shama Menos, I hope I said that right. Superman vs. Silver Surfer, who would win? I guess that's a Andrew Battle Royale. I'm going to hold that as a suggestion. Raymond Rodriguez, nice haul, Andrew. Loving Rebirth so far. Flash is going to be one of my favorite titles this summer. Yeah, Flash is pretty good, enjoyable, and Rebirth in general is just doing a very good job. And last, John Doe 297, Andrew, you are the best, Andrew. Are you going to Boston or New York Comic Con this year? If so, which days are you attending? Also, would you ever consider finishing your video series of Batman's Best Sidekicks? Thanks. Thank you very much for the kind words. I am going to Boston, and I'm going to go Friday and Saturday. Friday, I'm doing the whole day. Saturday, I'm going to do a half day. I won't be going to New York, just because I heard New York is psycho crazy. And I haven't looked on the site yet, but I don't know if there's anyone that appeals to me. But now that you brought it up, I think I will look just in case, because the missus is looking to go to New York, so maybe we can make a day of it. As for finishing my Batman Best Sidekicks, I have to look back because I don't remember that series. But hey, if something people want, then I'll do it. Thank you very much to all of you for the kind words. I do appreciate it. keep these questions going. I'm loving them, and I love that we're getting this interaction again, because that's the best part of doing these videos, other than hearing me speak and inflating my ego, is that interaction. I'm just kidding. But the interaction back and forth between me and my comic book brothers and sisters. It's awesome. I love you guys. I'm going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.